confident do you feel in this wide receiver group after 2 weeks out there?
I'm really confident. Like a lot of people say, we got a lot of young guys, but we're willing to work. We compete a lot in practice. I'm confident in like us getting on the field and going to work.
Kelsey Pope said that sometimes the wide receiver meetings go a little long, but sometimes you interrupt him because you got dinner with Joey.
Yeah.
Describe that relationship that you guys have with your quarterback.
Man, it's amazing. Just being able to go over to their crib or just go out with them, eat. It's amazing to have people like that in the building. And that's just a great relationship we have like with everybody.
How does Kelsey take that when you're like, hey, we got to go for someone else?
Hey, he, get back in the building. That's all he said. Get back in the building. Make sure you, in the playbook. Make sure you get extra meetings, walkthroughs, or whatnot. But the relationship with Coach Pope is amazing too.
Explosive plays. Got one big one against Syracuse, and then another one for Mike against ETSU. How important is it for you guys as a unit to come up with those big chunk yards?
Man, it's very important. As a wideout, you're supposed to do that, and that's what we do. We gonna keep making plays happen. That's just the standard here.
What are you seeing so far from that Georgia secondary?
They're physical. Play a lot of press man. They're a talented defense. We got to come in this game with a mindset that we're going to dominate as well.
How much press man have you seen the first two games? It didn't look like a whole lot, right?
It was kind of in between, press, off, they're mixing in between.
How much work did you guys do with your defense in terms of press man, even before the season started and getting work in that area?
A lot, actually. They mix it in as well at practice. It's either press or off. Probably playing 5 yards off. We just switch it up. So we have we are comfortable like press. That's about it.
There's been a couple of catches where maybe the team's looking for a defensive pass interference on a couple of your catches. It doesn't happen. How are you working this week to maybe counteract some of that physicality you might see this week?
Going through indie drills. Just incorporating like our interns holding us, going to make grabs. We got to just fight through it. It's the SEC. Some calls not going to get called. We got to play the next play.
Braylon, you and Mike have never been starters in a game of this magnitude. And, we're asking Coach Pope about, you young guys, if you had a little chip on your shoulder because of that. And he was like, yeah, I think they definitely do. Is that the case? I mean, you hear some people maybe, they've not been on this stage before.
Yeah. We definitely had a chip on our shoulder, coming from last year, didn't play as much. And, coming to this year, people were just saying like they're young freshmen. This is the first time they're starting. They're probably not gonna know what to do. But that put a chip on our shoulder, and it just made us play harder.
And when you put I know it was just one game, but when you go from being that freshman to somebody who is making a play like you did against Syracuse in that game, how much of a boost does that give you? Like I'm here now, I can do this.
It gave me a lot of confidence to just go out and just continue to do the same thing over and over. Every week. That's my mindset. Just go make big plays, go block for my running backs and all that.
How much have the coaches talked to you about your blocking? Looks like you've been pretty physical on the outside.
Yeah. They talk a lot about it. Honestly, I came in one day and it was like, man, brother, you can really block. And it kind of, it meant something to me. You don't really show it at practice a lot because you're going against scouts or whatever. But, getting in the game, just got to throw my hat, got to do what I got to do.
You probably didn't have to block at all in high school. It's something you've kind of developed since you've been here, that learn how to do it and being physical too. Yeah, something I developed. In high school, playing against smaller kids or whatever, but on the outside. But I came in, he put me at a slot, and I had to realize I had to block linebackers. So it's just like, man, I need to get in the weight room, and I need to be able to strain and be physical. You guys obviously didn't come into the season with a lot of experience. You had the big play in the first game. Chris and Mike had 100-yard games. You guys feel like you've kind of built some confidence after the first two games, just kind of show yourselves, hey, we can produce at a pretty good level?
Yeah, we actually did. The first game and the second game, every game matters. And, we came out and did our thing, and we got a lot of confidence right now.
Braylon, what's it like for you as a young guy? I mean, you were here last year, you were around, huge games, big environments. What's it like going from a guy who was just watching it to now being a guy who's going to be in the middle of all of it?
It means a lot to me. Having them guys last year, me having to lean on them to get some tips from them, like in their game, and add them to my game. It means a lot because now I'm the guy that I have younger people looking up to me. I'm young as well, but I got younger people looking up to me, trying to incorporate some of the things I do in my game into their game.
what does it mean to you to have your family in the stands and then obviously getting ready for a big time matchup on Saturday?
Man, it means a lot. You know, my dad, I call my dad every day, my mom every day. We talk about the game. You know, he just keep telling me to lock in, you know, have a great mindset coming to the game and just focus.
With you, Mike, and Brazel all being in your second year with Tennessee, kind of all in the same boat in that sense, how do you feel like that's helped each of your comfortability?
I think just being around each other a lot, you know, we hang out a lot around outside of the facility. And, you know, I think just creating that bond with each other, it makes us push each other harder on the field. And I feel like we got a lot of confidence from that.
We saw Joey kind of directing traffic on that deep ball to Mike and kind of telling him where to go. Has he done much of that in practice, and how much do you guys feel like you're on the same page and kind of looking for things like that on some plays?
Yeah, so we work a lot of scramble drills too. So, you know, that's just second nature right there. So, you know, Mike went up and grabbed the ball, and man, that's something I've seen before in practice. So, you know, proud of him for that.
Thanks, Brad.